Hello, and welcome to the second episode discussing Nintendo's E3 2014 presents last week. Again, we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get right into it. Hyrule Warriors features several playable characters, namely the addition of Zelda and Midna in her imp form atop a Shadow Wolf. This only begs the question, how many more characters are going to be playable? Quite frankly, I'll be happy to kick butt as Zelda, which I think is long overdue. However, do you think we'll see post-game bonus characters get unlocked? Perhaps Ganon? Nabooru? Princess Ruto? Naturally, I have one thing to say. Pre-order! Monolith Soft's Project X finally has a title. It's called Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have to say, that title is a bit of a mouthful, and the X feels a little tacked on. I think the X was originally intended to hint that it was of the Xeno series. Of course, the bigger discussion here is that there was a flurry of threads and comments that the game received a graphical downgrade. The reality is that there wasn't one, as you can see in these two comparison shots I grabbed from nasty YouTube compressed videos. What happened is that we finally saw faces for the first time, and they matched the initial quality of the teaser trailer showing that Shulk-looking fellow. Sure, they're not super detailed, but their anime-inspired plastic look is thematically fine by me. I highly doubt these faces are going to turn me away from what is undoubtedly going to be a phenomenal game. What I did notice were some draw distance issues. Just watch this area here in this last part of the trailer. You can see the level of detail change pretty dramatically. And guess what? Pre-order! We finally have our first glimpse of the next Legend of Zelda entry on the Wii U, and it is glorious. Despite being scripted, it has been confirmed to be in-game footage, and there's a few things I'd like to discuss. First, the art style. It is beautiful. If you can't appreciate this absolutely stunning appearance that goes against the grain of all modern video game conventions about what passes for good graphics, you might need your mind opened, with a high five, to the face. At this point, it's my belief that Nintendo intends Hyrule Warriors to appeal to the fan demand for a more realistic style. If you want a more realistic look and insane action, turn to Hyrule Warriors. If you want a fantasy game that's going to draw you in with its uniqueness and carefully crafted world that goes beyond skin deep, then look no further than the latest entry in the Legend of Zelda series. Next thing I want to mention is that people have been saying Link didn't have a sword in this trailer, when in fact, he does. Look right here. You see that? It's clearly a hilt to a sword. It may not be the Master Sword, but Link rarely ever starts with that, right? Lastly, I'd like to touch upon the biggest controversy of all, Link's appearance. Many not only thought it was a girl, but that if it was Link, that he was way too girly. I have one thing to say. A hero doesn't require big muscles, broad shoulders, and a cut facial structure to be a hero. Link looks just fine, and has always had a somewhat androgynous appearance. I'd also like to say I like that somewhat high-tech arrow. Pre-order. Yarn Yoshi is now known as Yoshi's Woolly World, and it's freaking cute. Not only that, but Nintendo has stated that the game will be pretty challenging. Now I don't expect it to be Champion's Road or K-level hard, but it's good to hear that this insanely cuddly and cute platformer will offer real gameplay. Devil's Third is now a Wii U exclusive. Now this is seriously interesting news, but the part that gets me is how the general perception of the game has changed since the announcement. The game was on some people's radars due to the famed Itagaki of Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden fame. It was expected to show up on the initially announced PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 platforms before THQ shut down. With its Wii U exclusivity, suddenly responses are of disappointment and that it's a shame. You see, it's not disappointing because the game has changed or anything, but because it's coming to the Wii U. How about that logic? Well, to that I say, Itagaki, more boobs please! You can now play as Pac-Man, and more importantly, you're me in Smash Brothers. Pac-Man didn't come as much of a surprise, given that Namco Bandai is assisting with development. However, now I can finally kick butt in sunglasses. Pre-order. To end today's episode, I want to let you know that I've partnered with MeGamer.com to bring you all the Nintendo news you need and my videos in one place. MeGamer.com is a nice Nintendo website with no trolls and humble reporting of all Nintendo news. Go check the site out and make it your regular stop for both Nintendo news and yours truly. Like my Facebook, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my channel. Nothing new there. I'll see you next week on the Wii U 5.